Hi everybody. Oh my gosh. I've been gone for a couple of weeks, and so hopefully all of you have been doing okay. I feel really bad. I sort of dropped off. Let me gonna pin my ID thing for 1 second while folks join, but tell me who's here. You know, I love to hear who's in the chat and see you all. Hi AP in APIN in time. Oh my god, I cannot read these handles. But today we're talking about the return to the office, and it's kind of funny because I was like, you know what do I want to talk about when I return to my LinkedIn Lives, my weekly What Would Cynthia Do shows, because I did feel a little exhausted, not gonna lie, everybody, after I closed my crowdfunding campaign a couple weeks ago. And so I just needed a minute. I needed a minute to reset. Let me play some music that's still in the background. So thank you for joining. If you're joining from the LinkedIn side, let me know. I thought of a little jazzed up, simplified intro. So tell us your names, pronouns, and one recent win. If you want to say where you're joining from too, that's cool as well. And same for all of you on the IG side. Hey, Carmel Squirrel, let us know where you're joining from and a recent win, because we celebrate our wins here on What Would Cynthia Do? And I'll give you an air horn. I'm not even lying. I'll start with mine, which is that with the crowdfunding, it was, oh wow, it was one of the hardest things I've ever done. Probably not even exaggerating, but we raised nearly 50K. Oh my god, where is my air horn? Yes, nearly 50K in about a month. That is why I was so tired after, and I had to take a break from everything. And the latest win is that just today, the campaign to create the Leadership Accelerator for Women of Color that we are launching with this startup funding, the campaign got featured in Women You Should Know. And so that also feels awesome. Thank you very much. The link to that I actually posted in my LinkedIn, and to put it in my IG stories, but I haven't yet. So it's either linked in my Twitter, the LinkedIn post that I posted from today, and the banner at the top of my website, which is embracechange.nyc. For folks who are new, welcome, welcome. Please tell us who's joining in the chat and a recent win that you've had. I will celebrate you. So that you know, this is normally a weekly show, What Would Cynthia Do? Career advice specifically for women of color. And you can always find the permanent archive, all of my past shows, at embracechange.nyc/resources. For you all on the IG side, if you want the full experience, I will be sharing 2 slides today. Feel free to join via the first link in my bio, and you'll see that this view of me. We've got some great stuff in the archives, though. This wonderful conversation I had with my colleague Nikki the Coochie Coach Brown about like truly the importance of self-care and not even putting like your children before you in certain circumstances, as well as one with my my business coach and my friend and colleague Maya Heradat on money set point and why women of color really need to understand what that is and grapple with it. I think about that nearly on the daily. So those are 2 highlights. Yana, hi, it's so great to see you. Thank you so much for the congratulations. I hope you've been doing well. It's actually on my list to drop you a line, so I owe you an email. Look out for that. Yeah, so tell us about one of your recent wins. I'll play you an air horn, obviously. Um, all right, let me see here. Let me get my bearings. Anyone else who's joining, please drop your intros in the chat. Love to see who is joining us. Yeah, and also, how are we doing? The first segment of the day. Drop 2 words in the chat to let us know how you're feeling. I will say I'm recovering. um, and celebrating still. I actually went out to my first like post-pandemic birthday party event like on a rooftop yesterday, last night. So that was interesting and fun and good to see friends and stuff because I'm trying to prioritize family and friends during July as I am in this period of recovery. Um, so that's kind of what's happening for me. And I gotta show you all this like hilarious. Oh my god, my friend Fanny sent me this. I'm gonna share screen for a second so I can show you. She sent me this reel, um, which oh wow, just so funny. And I gotta play it for you all. Hopefully you can hear this. All I'm saying is that if she is independent and she pays her own bills and she takes care of herself and she can cook and she is doing her own damn laundry and she is looking good and staying hydrated and being her very best self, she is one step away from having a literal nervous breakdown. All I'm saying is that if she is independent. Okay, so I watched that and I mean, I I watched that so many times on repeat because I was like, this is so hilarious. And also I relate to this because I do feel like a lot of times us, especially women of color, we're just like going, taking care of everything, taking care of everyone, getting everything in on time or early. Everything is immaculate. I's dotted, T's crossed. And but the truth is it's so much that it can be really easy to be on that brink and have an actual literal nervous breakdown. So self-care, everybody, take care of yourselves. If you haven't already seen it, watch the replay at the archives of my episode of What Would Cynthia Do with Nikki the Coochie Coach Brown on the importance of self-care and how that's related to high performance. I'll post the hey royalty and thank you Caramel Swell for your 2 words, feeling tired but ready. Ooh, I wonder what you feel ready for. I can relate to the tired though, that's for sure. And hey Jesse, so let us know your 2 words of how you're feeling. Be honest as optimistic and not at the same time. Yeah, always feeling very mixed because shit is complicated. And that's why today's topic too, like why I wanted to talk about the return to the office because shit is complicated and it's really not like even folks who are like, I'm not going back, they're not going to drag me back. And there's like a lot of people quitting their jobs and stuff, which is like more power to them. Also, like it's important to think things through a little bit and really consider all of the pros and the cons. And still, if you come out on the same side, like good, but at least you thought about it and weighed the options rather than kind of going with sort of what all your friends are saying or like not thinking very critically about your decisions. So anyway, let me see. Is there anyone else who wants to share how they're doing? Feel free to do that. I'm gonna post the reel that I just shared via my screen share over here. I'll post it on my Instagram stories later so you all can watch as many times as you want and have a laugh because it's so on point. Okay, so now let us go into the topic of the day, the return to the office. Yeah, I know. I know a lot of people are feeling very anxious about it. Almost everyone I know is like, I am not going back. And I get a lot of questions from people on IG, LinkedIn, email, etc., being like, how do I negotiate so that I don't have to go back? Hey, Erica, Healthy Tea, welcome. Let us know if you have any recent wins you want us to celebrate you for and 2 words about how you're feeling as we roll into talking about the return to the office. So it's complicated, even for folks who are like, I really just want to negotiate not returning for XYZ reasons. Like, there are some things you should be aware of that could be downsides that come along with that if your office is going to some kind of a hybrid thing. So I want to talk about this and like explore it. So let me know in the chat too, how are you feeling right now? Like who is like, I'm never returning to a physical office? Let me know in the chat who is like, I'm excited to return to the office. Actually, we can do this. We can do on a scale of 0 to 10. So if you're really excited to go back to the office, you're a 10. If you're like, I'm never going back, 0. And yeah, we've got Viana already sharing, like, I'm actually really tired of being in the house so much. I have heard that too. I have heard that. And like, we'll get into this. There's some things that are not so like really about like being back in an office. Hey, in my travels 2020. So let me know in the chat as I share screen now to talk about this topic. Where are you scale of 0 to 10? 0 being like, I'm never going back to the office. 10 being like, I'm so excited to go back to the office. And Erica is at a 5, so split. I totally hear that. Okay, so let me share my slide over here. And if IG folks, you want to see the slide, just hop on over. First link in my bio, and you will get redirected. Okay, so hopefully you all see this. I'm gonna make it a little bigger. Oh no, too big. Let me see if I can full screen it. Okay, so we're talking about the return to the office. And I kind of made this chart here because to me, there's like 4 main areas I think we must talk about or consider. And there are definitely more, but these are 4 that I feel like come up a lot and are relevant a lot for my clients and women of color in general. So the first is productivity. That's like the first thing everybody has been talking about when they're like, I'm so much more productive at home. I don't want to go back. There's fewer distractions. When I'm in my own space, I can set everything up to be optimized for me. I don't have to commute. We'll get into that in a second. So like I'm getting that time back. I can schedule my day how I want. Productivity through the roof. That is great. So yeah, I mean, I get that that's an argument that folks can make, and that in like a capitalist, white supremacist workplace culture is gonna fly, I think, for talking to employers. On the other hand, I mean, and this is coming from somebody who feels like low-key burnt out right now and just very exhausted and tired. And I know others feel the same. I mean, who was just saying? Caramel Swirl was just saying, feel tired but ready. And so, yes, thank you in my travels for sharing that you're a 0 and your job is remote. I mean, I kind of am in the same boat, although with speaking engagements, I have to sort of think about what my policy is going to be on that in the future. Caramel Swirl, I've been in the office the whole time. Yes. So I also am well aware that there are folks for whom this is not a return. This is just a continuation of more of the same, because you haven't been able to have the option and the privilege of like working from home. So this is also important for us to remember that it is definitely a privilege to have that option. And in my travels, I may go in the office once a month. Yeah. So I feel like kind of hybrid options work well for people. But on the productivity piece, let me say how, okay, sure, it's a pro, because if your productivity is higher, you are getting more things done. It's efficiency. Great. We get that argument. In some ways, it can be a con, because like the boundaries are harder to hold at home, and productivity, I feel like, shouldn't be the be all end all of everything. Like, I don't know if you all have seen this, but like there was a recent article that's been going around that showed how productivity has been on a steady rise the last couple of decades. And guess what? Pay has dropped off like completely. So being more productive doesn't mean that you get paid more for your work and your labor. And therefore can lead the life that you want, or save for whatever financial goals you have. And I'm just sort of generally concerned about this like idea that we should just forever be growing and more productive, bigger, higher, better. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's in a way a trap. So that's how I feel like productivity in a way can be a con. But these are things for all of you to think about. And let me know what you all think. In my travel, it says no commuting, no more office politics. Yeah, huge. Okay, so that's a great segue into the next thing. And hey, Femi Writes, if anyone needs a copywriter, someone to help with their website, etc., Femi Writes is the one. Femi, intro yourself in the chat so people can know how to follow you. So the second thing out of the 4 things I want to talk about is being around other people. So there's so many aspects to this, and my travels has brought up the one about office politics. But look, there's health, there's social, there's racism and discrimination, there's career advancement that I think about being around other people. One, health, like, what is your comfort level? We are still in a pandemic. Being around other people, may they be vaccinated or not, like, there's a lot of fraud I think, feelings around that. So you sort of have to decide, like, um, is the fact of being around other people, because let's say you do like to work in teams and it's nice to be social and it can be efficient to just like go over to somebody's cube or office and be like, hey, blah, 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 rather than sending an email or, messaging them on Slack. Like, is that aspect outweighing like potential health risks for you? I mean, this one right here is major that I think about a lot for my clients because they're women of color. And that is like the anxiety around like being subjected to people's outright racism and microaggressions and sexism in the workplace. It brings with a lot, like even thinking about getting ready for your day, whether you're at home versus in the office, like comes with so much more. Like, what are you gonna wear? Like preparing your physical appearance, hair, makeup, nails, outfit, all these things like to look a certain way to fit into the workplace culture, and also like, I don't know, be aware of pitfalls around work. Like, I'm just thinking of like people just sexism and like sexual harassment in the workplace. So there is that, and there is a bit of a, you're not like subjected to that when you are working remotely or working at home and stuff. The flip side of this that I want you all to also consider is that I am pretty sure that there's also going to be some real downsides to for women of color and people of color if they choose to work remote in this situation. If you're not there physically and most other people are there, it just creates another chance for people to make an excuse and like forget about you or not think about you or pass you over for opportunities or good collaborations, promotions. Like your work gets in a way potentially even more erased and invisibilized, so if that's a word. So think about that too. Like if that is the case for you, you're going to have to strategically be like, all right, how am I going to make sure that I stay on top of mind for people? How am I going to make sure they don't forget about me when the next like good opportunity comes around? How am I going to insert myself in the spaces where I need to be, and make sure that there's other people saying my name in the spaces where I need to be, even if I'm not there physically. So these are things to think about. Like, I think that being around other people, I mean, I'm totally an introvert and I thrive like working on my own. So I feel like being around other people is generally a con, but I also then have to make sure like I'm active on the various socials, like that I'm sending out my newsletters and I'm doing all that type of thing so that people don't forget about me and I don't become irrelevant. So think about that too. Let me just check in with the chat real quick and make sure that everything's okay over here. Viana says, let me stop share for 1 second. Viana says, I do like wearing leggings pretty much every day. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty hyped to like only have to usually worry about like top up, for my outfits and stuff. So that is really nice. That being said, I would love to show off the pants. Oh, do you like these pants? They're new. I just got them thrifting. I'm very excited about them. So let me know what you think about these pants. Sorry, I can't show you all on the LinkedIn because it is attached to my computer. So back to the screen share. Let me continue the slide. The last two things. Okay, I'll rate you later, Canva. The last two things are convenience, commute, and cost. So, I think for most people, it is in most ways like more convenient to work from home because you don't have to commute. You don't have those added costs of both time and money going back and forth, car, gas, etc. And you can really just roll out of bed 15 minutes before you need to be like working or whatever when we're at home usually. So there is that, and I get that can be a pro. I will say that like a pro of it being going back to the office for this, and so then con, I guess, in my chart would be like, if you like to have a little bit of space and separation, or if you like to do things that are fun or self-care things or just things you have to do during your commute. Like I've really enjoyed actually my subway rides in New York City the past couple weeks doing errands and things because I take some work with me and I'm off the screen. I'm not doing screen time and I'm just like doing some real actually like deep work. I'll put in my headphones or whatever and it feels good. And I actually enjoy that. So some of you all might be like that too. Let me know if you relate to that. Oh, hey, photo boy. So great to see you. Everybody, if you need a photographer, photo boy is your person. Took some amazing shots of me when I did this workshop in person in New York City a couple years ago called Power Up. Oh my God, those are my best shots. Thank you for Femi for putting that in the chat. In my travels, as I'm riding the remote wave from now on. Yeah, I mean, I think I am in the same boat like we said before. Um, and hi, Brooklyn Botanica. Thanks for joining, and thanks Stephanie for the thumbs up on the pants. All right. Lastly, the fourth thing that I want people to like think about is like multiple family duties, right? So is it better for you? Are there things that are better or worse when you're working from home versus going into the office? Like, is it in fact easier for you to drop your kids off at daycare and like pick them up on the way back from home when you are working from the office? Or is it easier for you to be at home so that, I don't know, if they are like homeschooling or like Zoom schooling or something, that you can be there? Or is that more disruptive? Like, these are complicated things. Like, the shit is complicated, right? That's why I want people to think about it and not just be like, yeah, I'm definitely never returning, or like, absolutely, I'm going back. Like, it's just important to think about. And then, regardless of what you decide, don't forget that you can still negotiate other situations, or like adjust your situation as you go, right? Like, let's say you are raring to go, you're a 10 on the scale I made up. Hey, S. Paramore. And like, you're back in the office and then you're like, oh, this is a lot. I have a friend who had to go back like 5 days. And so like maybe after a couple of weeks, like somebody like that would just like, hey, could I actually do like a 3-2 split or something like that? And vice versa. So I just wanted to, not adjust, but I wanted to raise these things today and talk about it because, it's important. It's important to share and think about these things, in like a systematic way before you make your decision, and then like think about how you can advocate for various things. So let me know if you have any questions or thoughts in the chat on either side. Um, I'm gonna say also that like looking ahead, and I've had a special request for the next weekly live to be about the glass cliff. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, I posted about it once on LinkedIn and twice, I think, just as of 20 minutes ago on Instagram. So like, check out those reels that I have on my IG feed about the glass cliff, because I can do a deeper dive into it. I'm thinking next week because somebody requested that on the LinkedIn side. Other topics coming up, I'm thinking of doing like the importance of approaching your career with an experimental mindset, kind of an entrepreneurial mindset. So yeah, keep those in mind. And it's Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern. So drop your comments or questions in the chat. And also, I'm so curious for those of you who voted, and even if you didn't vote, like on the scale of 0 to 10, like now that we've talked a little bit more and complicated it a little bit more with these four areas, like productivity, the fact of being around people, convenience, commute, and cost, as well as competing family duties. Where are you? Are you at the same point on that scale? If you were a 10, are you still a 10? Or if you were a 5, are you now a 6 or a 4? I'm so curious. So drop your number in the chat so we can see whether your opinion has changed at all, or if you just feel like, I need some more time to think about stuff. Yeah, salary negotiation. Thanks for reminding me, Viana. I forgot about that, but I will definitely be adding it to the list, so we can talk about it. And like, if you have specific questions about it, or like just DM me so I can craft something, because salary negotiation itself is like pretty broad. So it'd be helpful if you could tell me like specifically what you're looking for and what you would like to see. So yeah, we're pretty much at time, but like, folks, let me know on either side if you have any questions, requests for future lives, any more thoughts about the return to the office and how you're approaching it. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Join us next time, Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Oh my gosh, can I play us out? No, it always freezes my laptop. I can like never play it a second time. Let me try. But it was so great to share some time, and thanks for bearing with my having to take a few weeks off. Um, but yeah, we're back now, and I'll be back for the next couple of weeks. Let me know your requests. Thank you again, Viana. Thanks, Lucic. S. Paramore, Femi Wrights, Brooklyn Botanica, In My Travels, Full Court Press. Love that screen name. Photo Boy, Camel Swirl, Hope Classy Chic, Erica Healthy Tea, Jess Vega, Royalty, A Pin in Time. Thank you all for joining. It's been so great. Spend a little time together, keep connecting with each other. You can find, once again, if you missed any of today's episode or past episodes, you can catch the archives at embracechange.nyc/resources. And on the IG side, just go to my link in bio. And when the show is not live, it will go to the archives. All right. Thank you all for joining. Bye.